Welcome back to Talkline, and tonight we're discussing how gamers are lazy, selfish, and spend all their time just playing video games instead of contributing to society.
Stop. Just get out of here. That couldn't be any further from the truth. Let's actually discuss what gamers are doing to help society and help during COVID-19. Hey, welcome back to Ridir Gaming, everybody. I'm Wes, and today we're going to talk about how gamers are actually giving back to society, and it's not just because we're supposed to be social distancing, but because gamers have been giving back from the beginning. I mean, I'll use me as an example to start off with. I've started with a Nintendo 64. I've had a PC for the longest time. I've been playing games for well over 20 years now, and I mean, I have a college degree, I have a wife, I have 3 boys, and gaming does not distract from actually going through and being a good parent, being a good worker, an employee, a manager. I mean, it's part of who I am, but it doesn't make me lazy. It doesn't make me self-centered. In fact, the first charities that I've worked with were through gaming. And we'll actually talk about that one later here in the video. But gaming doesn't make somebody self-centered. It doesn't make somebody selfish. That's a person's character. You find those people all throughout society. But what gaming does do is it allows people to have a different avenue to talk to other people and to interact with other people. So let's start with something a little bit closer to today. There's a streamer and a YouTuber by the name Jacksepticeye. You might have heard of him. He's got like 26 million subscribers or so on YouTube. I mean, he's huge. He goes everywhere, and he does multiple charity streams a year. He tried to get 12 for the past 2 years, and he was able to get, I think, 8 and 10. He's gotten 2 already this year. He did one for the Australia wildfires, and he did another one here for COVID-19. He raised over $670,000 in 24 hours for COVID-19 and charity for the United Way, giving this to an established charity and giving it out. And this is one individual working with the community to raise money. And this isn't a one-time fluke. He, like I said before, he's doing multiple charity streams, and his community keeps giving more and more money. And this isn't a community of random people. This is all gamers. So I really appreciate something that one individual can do to raise over $500,000 for a single topic and give it to United Way. But Jacksepticeye isn't the only one. In fact, I went through and supported another streamer and another 503c charity called Shellback Tech. And this is a much smaller charity, much smaller streamer, much smaller community, but one that hits a little bit closer to home for me. And that is, he's a veteran and he takes care of veterans. And there's a lot of things, and I don't want to get into specifics, but a lot of veterans have a little bit of social anxiety for good reasons. It's hard to go out in public. So gaming is their way to communicate their experiences and to interact with society, give back to society a little bit. And for some of them, it's also therapy. They're able to interact with other people. Shellback Tech goes through and builds gaming computers, and gives computers to those that need them. Some people have therapy dogs, some people have gaming computers. And he even had a recent 3-day stream event where he had streamers that he had either donated computers to, or people that had been really good sponsors on the channel. They were streaming and they were all talking about their experiences, and they had made testimonial videos, and it was actually really nice. And it's one of those ones that I enjoy going through and supporting that charity, because those are the people that I know the best. I watch them on Twitter, I watch them on Twitch, I watch them everywhere that there's social media, and these guys take care of each other. And that's what a real community is about. So this whole myth that gamers are antisocial, it's completely false. Gamers are just able to reach a much larger distance and a much larger audience at a faster rate than previous experiences. During Shellback Tech's 3-day stream event, one of the events though was Fold at Home. And a lot of people might already know what Fold at Home is, but Fold at Home made history over the past month with their ability to get people to donate their hardware and electricity to help with folding proteins. And I know this doesn't sound really big and sexy, and it doesn't have a huge $sign next to it, but what it does have is it has real impact on research. So what Fold at Home does is it takes your idle CPU time and idle GPU time and idle PlayStation 3 time. Heck, it can even use some cell phones. And it takes all this idle time and computation, and it strings together a whole bunch of different computers, and it gives them simulations, and they all work together to do what's called folding proteins. So Shellback Tech says, hey, this is how you can do Fold at Home. And you had a few new computers log onto the system. Well, it turns out that so many people have logged on to Fold at Home recently that they became the world's most powerful supercomputer, beating every other supercomputer and actually breaking the exaflop barrier at, I think it was like 1.13 exaflops. Oh, I'm sorry. Folding at Home went through on April 8th, 2020 and broke the exaflop barrier doing 1.18 exaflop floating point calculations. And this is gamers and just individuals at home being able to say, you know what, I'm not gaming right now, I'm not doing anything with my computer right now, I'm just going to let Fold at Home take 100% of my CPU and GPU usage, and it's able to do a ton of floating point calculations. I think this is a lot better use of electricity and GPUs than Bitcoin mining, but hey, that's just me. Now, those are all really recent events, but Fold at Home has actually been around for quite a while, and it's published over 220 research papers which have helped with a whole bunch of different scientific projects. And I'm not a scientist, so I can't talk on those. Now, there's two other organizations that I would love to talk about, and one of them is Extra Life, and I actually did a 2018 fundraiser through PUBG for Extra Life, raising $350 out of $500 for their goal. Extra Life is a charity organization that supports the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which is over 170 hospitals within the United States. Extra Life has been so successful since 2008 that it's raised over $70 million, providing over 32 million different treatments to kids. This is absolutely fantastic, and if you've been around here before, you followed me on Twitter, the kids are innocent. Yes, I know some kids are raised to be crazy, and that's why we're here to try and raise the next generation to be better. But I'm telling you, this is how you make better people, is you go through and you find people and you make their lives better. And I would be really remiss if I didn't talk about Gamers for Giving. Gamers for Giving is actually a really cool concept. And there are children that are hospitalized and they just can't leave the hospital. And that's really sad. Some kids are able to get their treatment and go home, or they might be there for a few days and they go home and they're in their own setting and they're able to relax and they're able to be their own person. But some can't. So Gamers for Giving do two things. They go through and they fundraise for go-karts, which are mobile gaming stations with a TV, a console, either a Switch, an Xbox, any type of console that they can get, and they put it on there, and then those consoles can go around and they can be played in different rooms for kids that can't leave the hospital. So if you've ever been in a hospital for a couple hours, you know how boring it can get. So this is able to relieve and break up some of the tension that these kids are feeling. The other thing that Gamers for Giving does is that it organizes gamers to volunteer their time to go play games with the kids that are in the hospital. And if you've ever done volunteer time before, you know how much this raises people's spirits. This is one of the most beneficial things to do, is to give your time to somebody in need. And Gamers for Giving has done that year after year after year. So if you ever hear somebody say that gamers don't care about society at large, or gamers aren't here for all of us, gamers are only worried about themselves, you know what? Just let it go in one ear and out the other. For the sake of brevity, I'm just going to stop right there. I think I've made my point. We all understand that gamers are here. We've been helping since the beginning and we'll continue to help in the future. It doesn't matter what other people say. We're going to do our best to make society a better place. So if you have any questions, comments, critiques, please stop, hit the like button, subscribe, leave those comments, questions, and critiques down in the comments below. I answer every single one that I get, even some from the bots, and then I delete those. This has been Wes from Ridir Gaming. Grab those controllers, game on, and I'll see you next time. I mean, yeah, that's not pretty. 7 months, and it looks like that. I don't know. I don't think that happens in 7 months. I don't think that happens in 7 months.